Yeah. That's from Regular Show, right? Well, hello, everyone. It is your favorite man-child, Super Jesus Jackson, back at it again with another video, but this time, it's a very special one. Yes, here we are, my long-awaited question and answer, also known as Q&A. It sounds a little weird and dumb calling it question and answer. Ugh. Also, I kind of messed with some mic presets here and there. New program, let me know how the mic quality sounds to you. But yes, the Q&A here is a celebration. I started this YouTube channel a little over a year ago, and I'm at like 300 something subscribers, and over 100 videos now, just over 100 videos. You know, subscriber celebration and video number celebration. Either way, it's a celebration for all of you guys that are here supporting me. It means the entire world. My journey is an interesting one. I started from song covers and then transitioned into kind of commentary and music and film. And then I talked about Zack Snyder a lot and then John Mayer, and you know, here we are. I think music and film is where my forte is at and where my passion lies. If I were to branch out to another topic, it would probably be gaming. Although I'm not much of a gamer as much as I used to be anymore, so I don't know. I really don't know. I like just commentating on stuff, so I don't know. Shoot me some ideas, guys. Apart from your subscriptions and your likes and your comments and your shares, I appreciate your viewership at the end of the day. That's really what, you know, I'm here for entertainment, for just to engage with you guys, and just to have an audience, no matter how big or how small, just means the world to me. I know you guys might think it's cheesy or that it's redundant, but you know, when a YouTuber says, you know, it really means a lot that some people tune in to hear you talk, to turn on a camera and just stare at it for 20 minutes. And the fact that people tune in, it just means a lot. It's really humbling. So thank you again. But without further ado anymore, because you guys know I love my long intros, let's get right into the Q&A. So I did a community post about a week ago. So I you know me, about a week ago. First question comes from John.
Interesting name.
And profile picture. Oh, awesome. I'd love to be a part. Thank you, John. Question. Do you think music is the greatest art medium in the world, or is it film, books, etc.? Good Lord. This was a fantastic question, but it's a question that I feel like I can make into a whole separate video. So I guess I won't try to be super into it. And actually, John, you're actually going to get even more kudos, because this is probably going to be a topic that I'm going to be doing in a separate video. And actually, my latest video is a topic that sort of goes into the philosophical, I guess. You know, it's about perfection. I do tie it into music, which is, I probably would do the same with this video here about music being the greatest medium in the world. But yeah, I mean, this is a great topic, so I will try to give a sufficient answer while at the same time conserving myself for a full video. Here's the thing about books, films, etc. I usually try to think of stuff in alphabetical order, for a lack of a better term, in the sense that probably the first thing that ever originated on the earth is communication, speech, right? And so then, you know, you might say, okay, well, playwriting or speech, that is the greatest art form, or just talking, you know? And that's very fair, you know, and then you go down, you know, and then it's like, okay, writing. And then it's like, okay, or maybe storytelling is first, you know, and then you write your stories, and then we have books. After that, it just goes into perhaps, well, music probably evolved within all that, and dance as well. And then, you know, film came way later. Music, technically, at least the form that we know of it today, came way later, obviously because of technological reasons. But I want to say yes, but I mean, okay, my biased answer is yes. Yes, it is the greatest medium because it's able to creep into so many other art forms. You can put music into poetry. You can put music into plays, into theater, into film, into dance. And music incorporates so many different things and subjects. You know, it has math, it has literature, it has movement if you want it to. But if I were to be 100% objective, at least, remove my bias, and also you have to, take into consideration the things that you feel, when you hear a song or the notes, but people who dance feel the things that they feel when they dance, so it's subjective in that category. But if I were to be objective about it, probably books are the greatest medium, writing, I think. Because, other than that, what are you going to pick? Storytelling? Just, sitting around a campfire, talking to someone, making them laugh? I don't know. That's an art form, obviously comedians, poets, or spoken word artists, playwriting. But, also playwriting does, you do write. So, I think really writing is the greatest art form, really objectively. But music, is my biased answer, of course. And maybe objectively, I would probably say music is like right below writing. Writing, literature, poetry, etc. If you really think about it, besides just talking about your idea, let's remove that. Besides just telling someone, communicating, you have to write everything before you actually do it. With the exception of probably dance. But, there is notation for dance. There is. And you have to record somehow your choreography, unless you're just a fantastic, memorizer. But, writing always comes first, really. With the exception of communication and conceptualization, of course. That was already like a 10-minute answer. Next question comes from Bat Spidey, which is an interesting name. I like your Miles Morales picture. And you're a great supporter of mine, so thank you. 2 questions, actually. Number 1, favorite Marvel/DC hero? I prefer DC over Marvel, but it's not like I don't like Marvel. I love Marvel. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is straight up there immediately. And then Daredevil. I think between Spider-Man and Daredevil, I would go with Spider-Man just because I know, I do know a lot more about him than I do Daredevil, but Daredevil is just a fucking badass. The fact that he's blind and his suit and the way that he fights. I also do kind of have a love for blind culture, I guess. The idea that, someone can't see is very romantic and poetic to me, and I don't mean that to offend anyone who's blind or colorblind or anything like that, but I just think that eyesight is a thing that we all take for granted the most. It's something that can really ruin someone's ability to appreciate something. Obviously we're very, human beings are very eye focused. The first thing we notice, is how something looks. Obviously, we have receptors. That's literally what we do, right? But I think that when you remove that, then everything else, your hearing, your taste, your feel, your touch, like those things are enhanced tenfold. And I think that's where the real magic is with life, right? Is the things that you feel, the things that you think, the things that you touch, that you taste. Obviously we love to see things. Obviously we love movies, obviously, right? And it's great when you have all these senses bundled together in a harmonious manner. But I really do love the idea of just trying to remove yourself from being so dependent on the things that you see. It's why I respect and love religion, I guess, and I'm fascinated by it, is because faith is blind. Not only literally, but also philosophically. So that's why Daredevil really speaks a lot to me. But besides like Kingpin, he's like the only villain I really know from him. And really also Kingpin is a villain of Spider-Man. So, but Spider-Man, I think he's probably like the 3rd most well-known superhero in the entire world. I love that he's young. You know, Stan Lee, when he created Spider-Man, you know, he wanted to create a hero that was relatable to the people that were reading comic books. You know, you have Batman, who's a billionaire, Superman, who's an adult and alien, and then you have Spider-Man, who's a kid. He's a kid just like you, dealing with bullies and dealing with trying to get the girlfriend and dealing with homework. That to me is fascinating. And really, the real Spider-Man, he's like 15, 16 years old. I think that's brilliant. You know, unfortunately, the movies, not until at least the Tom Holland iteration, you know, we've gotten, you know, a young Peter Parker. But also, I just love the really relatable nature of Spider-Man, and his powers are awesome. Are you kidding me? A spider? That's just like so random, but yet so awesome. And so many people are afraid of spiders, so it's really cool that, you know, we have a hero that kind of, you know, that completely takes away that phobia and makes it into something cool. And his villains are just absolutely fascinating as well. I love that they're all kind of animal-based. Makes sense. Rhino, Dr. Octopus, Scorpion, Vulture. He's just a fascinating character with fascinating lore. And I love his wittiness. I love his character. And I also love how he learns his lessons in the hardest of ways, because that's what happens when you're growing up. When it comes to DC, favorite superhero is Superman, for damn sure. No bars. I don't know where the hell I was going with that. But yes, Superman, he's the perfect hero. In fact, this is why I just love Superman, because he transcends, you know, just being a person, a hero. He's literally just an ideal. He's like Jesus. You know, he's something that we will never ever be, and that's why he's the best. I just imagine it like, you know, two people coming into a room being like, okay, we got to create a superhero. And one of them is trying to be really cool, you know, kind of like X-Men. It's like, oh my God, what if he like could have needles that comes out of his body? What if he grows fat and then skinny? Or what if, you know, he turns into a beast or a raging monster? And then this dude is like, the other dude is like, no, what if we just have a regular dude who comes from another planet and he has literally the best powers? That's it. And that's all you need. Not only is flight the greatest superpower, I think, because it's the one that fully transcends, you know, human capability, you know, in the most grandiose manner, but who he is as a person, how he was raised, the fact that he has the best powers and he's the most powerful being on this entire planet, and he still decides to do the right thing. That's just amazing to me. And his villains as well. Lex Luthor, he represents the epitome of egotistical humanity. And I think that's the biggest problem, the biggest poison in humanity is ego. And I love the complete dichotomy as well. I mean, every good villain is the complete dichotomy of their hero. Superman is completely distanced from ego, and Lex Luthor is all about ego. And the whole criticism that he's overpowered, I'm just like, yes. At the same time, it depends on the writer. You know, sometimes you can depower him. There's been many iterations like that. And I also like the contradiction as well, too, of his weakness. I like how he's literally Superman, a god, and then he's just weak to a fucking green rock. Like, that to me is amazing. It's just an interesting contradiction, but I mean, you know, you can go so many ways, you know, depending on the writer. But even if he's overpowered, so what? He's Superman. He's supposed to be overpowered, but that's not really the reason why you love I mean, yeah, it is. You know, you can think he's a badass and he's, you know, a god, but really it's also his mental state, who he is as a person, his ethics, his code. That's what makes him also interesting. Question number 2 from Bat Spidey. Do you have a favorite singer/band? Yes, I do. It is also in my name. Michael Jackson. He's my favorite. He's the greatest of all time. I believe he is the greatest living entertainer, musician who ever lived. His compositions are closest to my taste. His dancing was impeccable. His humanity, I think, too, his characteristics, who he was as a person, and even if, all those terrible things of him are true, I still think he's a fascinating character. And I think you can go in circles with him. He supplies so much interest, regardless of what camp you're on. I actually made a whole 30-minute video about this. Obviously, he was a very influential artist, and I think at the end of the day, he's the most influential in all of the important ways. And his delivery, just in everything, his perfectionism, and really the fact that he cared about consistency. He cared about integrity. He cared about delivering a banger after banger after banger. You know, how many fucking albums or, artists out there, where you listen to them and not every song that they put out is perfect. Not with Michael Jackson. With Michael Jackson, 99.9% of his material is perfect. And I really don't think you can debate that. And to me, that's everything. That's my favorite singer, my favorite artist for damn sure. And the dude, didn't even know how to read music. The Beatles didn't either, but for everything that MJ was able to accomplish, and of course, he's got the biggest selling album of all time too. There's that. When it comes to favorite band, that's a difficult one. Top 5, at least. It's got to be Radiohead's in there, Beatles are in there, Tool is in there, Nirvana's in there. Beatles, I'm going to put them to the side a little bit because Beatles are a mixed bag at the end of the day. I don't know. Are they? They just have so many banger singles. And obviously, the most influential band of all time for damn sure. In terms of consistency and in terms of just banger after banger after banger, Radiohead wins. And then there's Nirvana, which I love their songwriting better than all the other bands. So there's that. But then Tool also has consistency like no other band as well. Let's just put Beatles to the side. Okay, they're objectively the best. Okay, we'll put that right there. But I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Nirvana. Nirvana's my favorite band because songwriting-wise, they were just the best. Period. I'm a pop guy, so, it does make sense why I do lean more with them, even though they're very grungy. And Radiohead is a fucking close second, man, for sure. And Tool is just opened another side of me that I didn't even know existed, so. But I do think it would be Nirvana, it'd be Radiohead, then Tool, and then the Beatles are just floating around the ether there. Yeah, we'll say that. There's just so many permutations, and it's difficult to say that anyone's better than the Beatles or that the Beatles are better than anyone else. Thank you so much for your questions and support, Bad Spidey. J-Vo, another longtime supporter. Super stoked about the Q&A. Thank you. My question, what in the mainstream music industry frustrates you the most? The thing that frustrates me the most is probably the lack of consistency. It's pretty redundant at this point, but it's true. I hate it when things don't go awesome all the time. And this is how I am in my real life as well. But, if I was an artist, if I was a celebrity, and I do make music, but I'm not to that pedigree. But if I was, I would be working my ass off to make every fucking thing that I do perfect and amazing. Now, I don't know everything, okay? I know that labels can be terrible for artists. They can be so, pushy and awful to them. So there's that. I'm not going to pretend that I know that I know everything, and, it might be very difficult to do. And obviously the music industry is different here today than it was 20 years ago or whatever, or when Michael Jackson was around. But even when Michael Jackson was around, there were people who also weren't that good. So, but here, I guess redundancy, yeah, definitely is just, there's nothing more annoying than that, listening to some singles and loving the first one, hating the second one. That to me is the most frustrating thing. It's like, how could you do this? How could you do this? But then again, maybe I won't ever really know until I'm there and see how hard it is. But there's people that fucking do it. There's people that do it. So it's complicated. But I guess a second thing that is very frustrating, that's just a little tiny bit further down the scale, is how many fucking writers there are in every song nowadays. It's crazy. It's like, let's just have like 2 writers, 3. Let's do 3 maybe. But God, so many of these songs, especially hip-hop songs, and really just the mainstream songs in general, have like up to 10 writers or something sometimes. It's crazy. It's like maybe that's why these songs aren't the best, because there's so many writers and everyone's trying to make a hit and everything's clashing. But also, a good song is a good song, and there have been good songs that have many, many writers. Kanye West, for example, tons of songs that have many writers and are fantastic. So there's that. But definitely, when there's a bad song and there's a lot of writers, I'm like, you see? How about let's not do that? How about let's just lower it down? Let's get to 1, 2, or 3. And I do think that the quality of the music will increase exponentially if that's done. If it's a good song, it's a good song. I'm not going to debate however the hell you do it. But, reduce the amount of writers, will you? It's so frustrating. But also, the music industry is making more money now than ever. So I understand that, these labels are trying to produce #1 hits. And they need a lot of writers. Just put more writers. It's like when, you need flavor in your food. And so, you just put a fuckload of salt in it. You're like, screw it, just put a bunch of salt in it. Let's do it. Or, like, oh my God, like you freak out and then you just throw ingredients into it like crazy. That's kind of what it is to me. And that doesn't mean that the end result will always be amazing. But, that's my rant. Question from Alex Swaim, who is a longtime supporter as well. Thank you so much. I love your videos. So here are 2 questions. Number 1, what song / movie has made a huge impression on you? This one is a fantastic question because, you could have easily asked, what's your favorite song or movie? But no, you went a little deeper and you said, what song or movie has made a huge impression on you? Which means it doesn't necessarily have to be my favorite song or movie. It could be, something that just made a big impact on me. That's a hard one because I didn't prepare for these questions. So I'll get back to you on that one. Number 2, if you could only be in one place forever, where would it be?
Oof, man.
This is difficult. I mean, these are just, my God, these are amazing questions, but I they're so expansive, it's like, God, like place, geographically or metaphorically, you know what, I'm sorry, this might not be what you're looking for, but for question number 2, I would pick Garden of Eden. That's where I would want to be at. Just a place that looks like the Garden of Eden. That's where I would want to be. Basically, heaven, paradise. Well, heaven, usually we think of it like, just really cloudy and amazing. But no, I want something, it's kind of grounded. Paradise, Garden of Eden would be that place, but it's still sort of heavenly, right? That, to me, with a bunch of animals and everything's harmonious, that'd be amazing. And then maybe I would probably kill myself at the end because it's so monotonous. But if I had the mind to tolerate it, and if I was an angel, if I was the best angel, I would be there. What song or movie has made a huge impression on you? Okay, well, song, in terms of impression, probably the latest one I can think of is WAP by Cardi B. I think that was one that we're going to look back on 30 years from now, 50 years from now, we're going to be like, oh my God, that song came out. I think it was a huge landmark victory for women, whether you agree with the politics or not. I mean, it's pretty badass, and the song is good. I understand both sides of the politics game, and actually, that's where the impression of it is. No matter what political side you're on, it's gonna shake you up. That song. You could be the most religious person ever, and it's going to shake you up. You could be an atheist, and that song's going to shake you up. You could be a Republican, liberal, whatever. And I think that's brilliant. I think that's art, no matter what. And the song's fucking great, too. The production, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That song always makes me be like,
damn, that exists? Wow.
That song had quite a bit of writers, too, so, yeah. Movie that had a big impression on me, well, The Exorcist is my favorite horror movie of all time, and it's really the main reason why I'm so provocative in my thoughts. Like, I'll go to bed thinking things that I probably never ever will share with anyone, And I think everyone has that, honestly. That movie is one of the reasons why I think Like, you know, like I was like 12 years old going to bed being like, oh my God, I want the devil to possess me. Like, that's what I would say. And obviously I don't mean it, but at the same time, like, I meant it. It was weird. So that's definitely one. And then there's the Joker. Joker, the 2019 film. That one just shook the world and shook me. It really changed my whole perspective on film. It really solidified my love for cinema. And it also happens to be probably my favorite film of all time so far. I think it's just incredibly inspiring and deep. But I think I'm going to go with The Exorcist. I'm going to go with The Exorcist just because it has formulated who I am as a person, and then that person then went on to love Joker. So, you know, without The Exorcist, it would not have happened. So that makes sense. It's The Exorcist. Ta-da. Thank you so much for, you know, allowing me to go into my thoughts and really dig deep. Well, there we have it, guys. That was all of your questions. Fantastic questions, all of you. I hope to see you guys next time in the next Q&A that I have. I'll probably have one for my 500 subscriber special, if I even do get to 500 subscribers, mind you. But I can't wait if that happens, and hopefully Bat Spidey, Javo, Alex, and John, hopefully you will be there with me for the ride. I hope all of you guys enjoyed this long, I think, Q&A video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, go ahead and dislike it, or unsubscribe if you really feel the need to do that. Please share with your friends. Comment down below some questions that I will take in the next Q&A, but I'll write it down, I promise. The links to my social medias and my original music are down in the description below if you are so inclined. But that's it for me. You guys take care, stay safe, and until next time, I love you. Yes! God, this video is like 40 minutes long. It's amazing. Oh!